Hello. Hey, everybody. Hello to everybody in the chat. Great to see all the members there as well. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome as well. And thank you to my mods. Nancy's here today and Dip Me in Glitter as well. Thank you so much for your help today. If you guys have questions as we go along, put question in all caps and have your question follow, and we will do our best to get to as many of them as we can. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. And trust me, right now, there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. We also talk about my 35 years in Scientology, leaving with 3 generations of my family. And throughout the week, I do interviews with other creators, people in the ex-Scientology community, other protesters. And if you want to catch those, be sure that when you hit that subscribe button, you also hit the notification bell so you can get notifications for when I go live, because I just pop in and do those throughout the week. Thank you again. All right, we got a lot to get into today. We are going to be talking about a senior Sea Org member that is out, and she is spilling the tea. She is naming names, and we are going to hear a lot from her in the coming weeks, I do believe. We've got some protest news. We got some things happening outside La Poubelle. So much more to cover and get into. It is Scientology is just the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to things to make you go, what? What? Surely I heard that wrong. No, you didn't. It's true. Just when you think. I used to have people, when I left Scientology, I started making friends in the community, and I would let them know a little bit about my experience. And I got to tell you, later on, after Leah Remini's show came out and they saw that, they came to me and said, it was hard for us to believe what you were saying because it sounded so, what? But now we realized you were just scratching the surface. And that is so true. All right, we are going to jump over first. There is a protest coming up, and let's take a look at that. I'm going to share some info here. I put this on my community page. You'll see it around YouTube. But if you want to go refer back to this, links down below to everything that we are going to chat about. So you were invited to protest Scientology. IRS and Homeland Security gives the address. April 9th is a practice. April 17th is the official protest. And April 24th, final attempt, they're doing it again. 11 to 4. Why? The IRS and Congress are giving us the runaround. We're formally requesting an investigation into the tax exemption of the Church of Scientology and Religious Technology Center. So there's more info on there. Bring signs, snacks, and water to share. Only good vibes. And there's some things you want to pay attention to for the mental well-being of the federal employees. Please carry only clear bags if possible. So take a look at that. That is on the community page. We will keep an eye out for that. If anybody is going, let me know and make sure you share with me, Natalie at lifeafteraCult.com, any videos, clips, or timestamps of it, because I would love to chat about it. Let's take a look. We're going to talk a little bit about Paris, because Paris Scientology is opening their new building today. Hip, hip, hooray, whatever. There are people out there protesting, and we're going to take a look at a few things. Aaron over at Growing Up in Scientology shared some info yesterday. Let's pop into his stream.
I've been in touch with these guys for at least a week now, and they explained that the police in Paris take protests very seriously. And if you try to protest without a permit, the police told them if they protest without a permit, they will be arrested. And it was my understanding that it was just as simple as requesting a permit and it would be granted. But it turns out they did request a permit and it was not issued. So the fact that the Paris authorities have not issued any permit protests for any of the requests that have been submitted, and the fact that Scientology is requesting road closures, I guess it remains to be seen what we're actually going to be able to see. But this photo here is that's like actually I do get the impression that this is where they're going to be able to stand during the grand opening. So I guess that remains to be seen.
So there is, if you go, I have it in the description of this video, there's a link to a Facebook page with some information on it. It sounds like I said, link down below, but let's just pop it up here quick too so you can see it. Oh, actually, no, this is something else. But trust me, there's a Facebook page. It is linked down below. And you can see, we actually are going to go look at a stream from today. They're several hours ahead there in Paris of the Scientology building. So I do believe this is from this morning. Let's take a look.
Look, he's looking. He's looking. He's sucking his fingers.
You're the loser.
They don't like being looked at.
Looks like you can see the building. I don't know if they were asked to move at this point. It's possible. There's some people who are sending me clips and links, so I'm sure we will talk a lot more about it. Probably tomorrow in the recap, we'll have a lot more footage from that as well. But that's happening in Paris right now. Very interesting and definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, I've got a link down below to an article. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but I did think it was interesting. Because this is an article in, I don't know how you pronounce that, IEEE Spectrum, why L. Ron Hubbard patented his EMETER. The device was intended to put the science in Scientology. It just came out a few days ago, and it is an interesting article which goes into the history of the EMETER, how it works, why L. Ron Hubbard decided to patent it, and what he thought that that would do for Scientology. We're not going to get into the whole thing, but it's really interesting, especially if you're somebody who is interested in the EMETER, how it works, why it exists, all the good stuff. You might want to check out the actual article down below. You might find that interesting. All right, we are going to go look at, you guys, wait until you see this. This is out of Australia. It's from Kate, AUSK8, like Kate, Kate, Australia, Kate. Link down below. I think we're actually, this is a couple of minutes long, but it's so bizarre. We might have to actually just work through the whole thing. I am going to mute it only because there's just a ding every time a new line comes up in this conversation, and I want to be able to talk over it. So this is a conversation with an online Scientology bookseller that Kate shared. And it is one of the most bizarre conversations I've ever seen. It starts out where you're like, okay, all right. Is it a bot? Is it a person? It gets weird. So let's take a look. Let's walk through this. Conversation with an online Scientology bookseller. So it looks like it's online. Hold on here. So you get the pop-up. You know how when you go to websites, there's the pop-up where can I help you? I'm not sure exactly which website she was on, but it starts out, the person introduces themselves as a materials consultant. So this is Bridge Publications. They're the ones that print L. Ron Hubbard's material. So I'm pretty sure that's where this is. And the person says, hi. And then the person at this Carmen at Bridge Publications, how can I help you? Right. And we're seeing like, oh, Dianetics and Scientology materials. It says that they comprise the largest body of assembled information. Is that true? The person says yes. Well, what are you basing that on? Well, we're basing it on research done by L. Ron Hubbard. And I love this too. So the person then, this is the Bridge Publications, this is the Sea Org member, responds and says, no, of course not. Because Oz8, or the person identified in this message is Zoe, says, do you have to be a Scientologist to access it? They're like, no, of course not. Anyone that's looking for knowledge and tools for life can read the books and watch for free on the television. So far, we're like, not too bad, right? And then she's like, oh, I thought you had to join. And they're like, you can become a member, but it's not necessary. The best way is by reading a book. Read a book, buy a book. Then they're all like, are you interested in knowledge? And so Zoe's like, yes, I am interested in knowledge. And they're like, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Scientology. Zoe has now, in the numbers count of Scientology, there is now millions and one. Welcome. She just got welcome to Scientology. They are now counting her. This is Scientology math in action. And then she asked, what's the difference between Dianetics and Scientology? Great question, which we know it is. Then they're like, I'd be happy to send you some links so you can read about it and understand. Note the little bit of typos that go on throughout this too, which I'm not judging. I make typos. Okay, I am judging, and I do make typos. Those two things are true. And then the person asked, this is the Scientologist, asked, who am I speaking to? She's like, Zoe, nice to meet you. And the person's like, okay, what's your email? What's your email? Can I get your number? Can I get your number? I mean, it just goes on like that. Then they're like, okay. And I'm telling you, their statistic is no doubt getting email addresses for people. So here's where it starts to get really weird, you guys. Really, really weird. So Keep in mind, what are they talking about? The difference between Dianetics and Scientology, right? All of a sudden, this is the Scientologist. This is the Sea Org member on the other end. Okay, just curious. Do you by chance follow Grant Cardone? What in the world of Xenu and all is holy? Why is a Sea Org member asking someone who's reaching out about Scientology and Dianetics if they follow Grant Cardone? And for those that don't know, Grant Cardone is a senior Scientologist on the bridge to total freedom and is allegedly a con man, allegedly a fraud, allegedly one of the largest donators to Scientology. Okay. Weird, right? Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the chat. I'm not the only one looking at this going, why you invoking the name of Grant Cardone? What is up with that? What is up with that? It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so bad. So, just curious, do you follow Grant Cardone? And then Zoe, the new person, is like, no. And they're like, no problem. And then all of a sudden, no problem. In 1986, no, we don't worship him. And he was not a god, just a regular being with questions about life, like you and I. Okay, what is happening? What is happening? You see? Do you follow Grant Cardone? No, no problem. And then they get all non sequitur. In 1986, no, we don't worship him. He's just a regular person. Just a regular being with questions about life. What in the world is happening here? Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that this person is maybe having multiple chats with people and got confused, which right there, okay, this is probably not a bot or any type of AI. This is an actual person. There probably wouldn't have been typos. What is happening? What is happening, Scientology? Seriously. Hello. Osa, are you there? Osa? You need to get this stuff in check because this is just embarrassing. This is seriously embarrassing. What is happening? All right, let's look at this a little bit more because I'm just like, what in the world? This is weird. And he found the answers and left them behind for anyone that wants to know. How did you hear about Dianetics or Scientology? And Zoe's just like, obviously probably thinking like, what in the world? 1986, you don't worship him? Thank you, but I didn't ask. What is up with, you were answering questions somebody didn't even ask. What's up with that? Again, maybe it was a wrong chat. Then she's like, I don't remember originally, but I was looking on a webpage because I saw something about one of the books there that was business related. Then this person's like, yes, Scientology does have tools to improve businesses. Are you interested in administrative technology? And knowing how to better deal with employees and the like? Okay, Scientology works for that as well. Like she didn't even answer and say, yes, I am. This person just keeps going. We do have home study courses that go with the books, which is recommended when just getting started, as you get a technical supervisor that works with you on any questions you might have, with the end result of applying the information you learn to your daily living to get bet. Probably better, but okay. And then Zoe asks, are you in Australia? And the person's like, no, I'm in Los Angeles. We connect people to Australia and around the world as we are the international publisher and work with people all over the world. So at this point, I'm really realizing like, okay, this probably is Bridge Publications where the person is at. And the person is a Sea Org member because the Sea organization is who runs Bridge Publications. So then the person's all like, the Sea Org member saying, I have a person that's Australian who works here. I can have her send you the information. People, I have a person in the office who's Australian. She can send you the information. Okay, last time I checked, Australians speak English. Just send the information. Now somehow you're going to go get someone Australian to send it to someone in Australia. Maybe I'm just being petty. It just seems weird. Like, what does that have to do with anything? But okay. Her name's Sarah, and she'll be sending you the videos and helping you get started with your book and home study course. What book and home study course? So then the person fixed the typo on course. Sounds good. I mean, there's this assumption that Zoe is like already buying a home study course in a book. And Zoe's like, which book? And the person's like, The Problems of Work. You'll notice, people, There's no mention of this book earlier in this conversation. And Zill's like, okay, I actually haven't purchased it yet. And then the Sea member's like, okay, she'll help you with that. She said, I haven't purchased it yet. And she's just assuming that she's going to purchase it. And so then Zoe's like, all right, so what's the spiritual part? You know, what does it have to do with science? The person tries to explain it and then goes on to talk about Dianetics, where it comes from. And Zoe talks about it being a bestseller. And it just goes on. There's a little bit after that. But the cringiest part is what we just went over. And I don't even know what's happening. I really don't. I don't know what's happening in that conversation. It is one of the more bizarre things I've seen come out of Scientology. And again, I say, and I mean it, and you tell me in the chat, you tell me in the comments if you agree or not. The number one enemy, the thing that will bring down Scientology is Scientology. It's Scientologists. It's Sea members. It's doing things like this. You are not communicating. There's no exchange back and forth. You are just barking orders, commands. You're buying this book. You're doing this course. You're not listening to Zoe. You're answering questions she didn't even ask. So Scientology, forget about the protesters and all that out there. You have some serious internal troubles going on when it comes to your recruitment. The protests are just shining a light on it, shining a light and putting a camera on it to share with the world. Get your act together. It's so weird. Yes, CMBR, Scientology is the fastest dying religion on the planet. And this is true. Days by Dog. Scientology are kings of the hard sell. They are trained in how to hard sell. There's a book that came out way back when by Les Danes that if you were in any recruitment or selling services in Scientology, you had to study this book by Les Danes. What was it called? Any of my ex-Scientology friends in the chat, you would know. It was Les Dane. It wasn't called hard sell techniques, but that's basically what it was. It was a sales technique from like back in the 60s or something like that. If anybody remembers the name of that book, tell me. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's next level. It is. Okay. Link down below if you want to see that again. I'm just still so shocked about it. I just can't get beyond it. I am shocked and I am embarrassed. And I know it's weird. I've been out of Scientology for 14 years and I still get embarrassed for them. I am embarrassed for you. You are not helping yourself. Now, I'll tell you something that is helping. Oh no, Nora. Oh no, Nora did an amazing video about tips for protesters. And also, if you find yourself in a conversation with a Scientologist, here are some great questions to ask. She gave incredible insight. It's fabulous. I'm going to share, we're just going to look at a little bit of it where she's talking about a Time magazine article that was done exposing Scientology and their lies. But I highly recommend, if you have not seen this video from start to finish, when we're done, not now because I'm still talking, head over there, check it out. All the videos down below. Support those creators. I shared just a snippet of what they are doing and it does not do it justice. And it's the same with this video by Ono Nora.
Hubbard argued that unhappiness sprang from mental aberrations or engrams caused by early traumas. Counseling sessions with the EMETER, he claimed, could knock out the engrams, cure blindness, and even improve a person's intelligence and appearance. It's just like it's like Botox and everything all in one, just auditing. It's amazing. Hubbard kept adding steps, each more costly for his followers to climb. In the 60s, the guru decreed that humans are made of clusters of spirits or thetans. This is where it got weird for me. Who were banished to Earth some 75 million years ago by a cruel galactic ruler named Xenu. Naturally, those thetans had to be audited. Like, this is group auditing now, guys. These thetans that are stuck to my temple should be ponying up some cash because this is getting very expensive for all these people I didn't know that I had with me.
I forget to unmute myself again. You were like 100,000 plus, 150, maybe even $200,000 in for some when you were learning about Xenu. Thank you, by the way. It was Big League Sales. That was the name of the book. Thank you for everybody who put that in the chat. It was Les Dane's Big League Sales. That's right. Oh, we had to drill it. We had to drill it. We had to drill it. It was so like, whatever. All right. Oh, by the way, I want to thank Janet Burns for becoming a new member. Hip hip hooray. Thank you so much. If you are on an iPhone on your phone and you don't see the join button, go to the link in the description of this video, and there's a link on how to become a member. Sparkling Dragon, thank you for being a member for a month. Can't believe it's been a whole month already. Thank you for the gifted membership. Love this kind, supportive, loving community. Light and love, y'all. And thank you to all of you, everybody here in our community who keeps showing up and spreading that light and love. Indigo Twin, Indigo Twin. Thank you for the super chat. You all are doing so much. Stay safe. Cult of Scientology will try to divide and conquer. Don't let them. I agree. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Indigo Twin, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray. Roxy has a question. Did early Scientologists take Dale Carnegie's sales courses? Sounds like the creepy style he used to peddle in the day. You know, I do not know. If anybody knows or who's been here from way back in the day, let us know. That actually is a great question. I wonder about that. During my time, but I think that might have been afterwards for me. I'm not sure, but I do remember Les Dane and Big League Sales, and it was hard to find a copy because the book was old and I don't think anybody else was using it and following it. I wanted to share a little bit of a clip. William Good has another channel. So he has Scientology Audit Streets LA, and then he has Film the Police LA. And I just wanted to just share a little snippet of that, because if you're not following William Good there, you get some great info about LAPD corruption, but also what your rights are in regards to the police. But he was out the other night. Check it out.
Your law doesn't say you can't have any tints. It thinks that you cannot have any tints on the front passenger or front driver windows. My God, I'm gonna make a fool out of you.
I like his intro there. And I like that. I'm gonna make a fool out of you. We need that on merch. William Good, we need that on merch. I'm gonna make a fool out of you. I love that. All right. Confident Chris. Confident Chris helped two young women yesterday who would have been in the clutches of Scientology had he and Jessica Palmadessa not just happened upon them. They were about to try and go into Scientology. And Chris, especially being multilingual, was able to communicate with them and let them know the deal. And this just warmed my heart. It just warmed my heart.
Oh, there's people trying to go in. Y'all don't want to go in. Ahí no quieren ir. Es una secta aquí.
Ah, bueno.
Sí.
Nosotros por curiosidad.
Una secta, ya. Yeah.
Se ve como museo.
L1 Hubbard. Sí, parece museo, pero no es.
Como un grupo.
Trafican a la gente. Yeah.
Ay, no, vamos.
Yeah. Yeah. See, they wanted to go in. And so you look, yeah.
You know, Scientology tries to make it look like it's a museum. That's how they promote that place. Oh, it's a museum. And then people think, oh, it's on Hollywood Boulevard. There's all these places in Hollywood Boulevard that you can go and look. There's the Madame Tussauds Museum. Is that what it's called? I think that's still there. So why wouldn't this be? It's not. Es una secta. Just what great timing for him to be there right then. Kate Eliza, thank you. Hip, hip, hooray. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate that. I love what Chris, Jessica Palmadessa, and all the other protesters are doing out there. Now, we have a new protester in live streaming that we've talked about a few times, Eric Rader. We're going to take a peek at a stream he did yesterday. And Eric Rader was not in the Sea organization. I had that wrong. I think because I was watching a video and we was pointing and referencing the blue buildings back in there. And my brain went right to the birthing because that's where I lived when I was there. But he was not in the Sea organization. Sounds like he has got some great stories, though, and insight into this is what it's like in Scientology. This is what it was like for me and my family. Let's take a little peek.
All they really want you to do is to be able to control other Scientologists and get them to do things they don't want to do. And at the same time, as you have lowered almost 86 your own ability, you sort of get rid of your own problems with authority. Like you just blank blank stare, do whatever they say type of thing. And that's where that's created on the HQS course.
Now, the HQS is the Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course. I actually totally forgot about it. It is probably, it's not necessarily the first course you will do in Scientology. It could be. It's usually you do a couple more, but this one puts you through the paces. It's kind of your first introduction. I feel like it's the first course where there's a few things on it where you might go, I don't know. And if you make it past that, and Scientology sees like you're cool with that, you're down, that didn't scare you off, then they move you to the next thing, and it just becomes more, you become more and more entrenched in it, and the blinders start coming up, and you're convinced that it is for your own good. It is for your own good. Oh, see nothing, say nothing, don't ask questions. That is totally Scientology. So be sure to check him out. Link to the whole stream down below. Now, Layla is one of the protesters. You'll catch her out protesting. She went to Inglewood Scientology, got into the building and did a personality test, but she was quickly escorted out. We are going to jump in on her video after she actually, I think she's already getting back in the car and she talks about it, but go watch the whole video. She's in the building doing the personality test, and then the guy comes running down the stairs and just gets her right out of the building. So at some point they found out who she was. Take a look.
He rushed me out. Like, quickly. He rushed me out super quick. He came running down the stairs. He literally started running down the stairs.
Running down the stairs. Once at some point they realized who she was. I don't know how they figured it out, because they're not good at coordinating, right? And this was in Inglewood. So I don't know. I don't know if Scientology put in some type of procedure. Every person who walks in of their own accord, go check their social media. I don't know. I don't know how they figured it out, but they did. But she was in there for a while. It's a really interesting video. You should check it out when you get a chance. Let's go over to La Poubelle. La Poubelle. Mindy Willens, other people were out there. Prevent cults, practice safe sex. Thank you for becoming a member. Hip, hip, hooray. I appreciate that support. Anyways, Mindy, let's get back to Mindy. Mindy Willens was out there. And oh my gosh, you guys, the things that came up last night just blew my mind. Just blew my mind. So this lady who's poking her head out is supposed to be one of Francois Coste's very good friend, who each time, I think this lady popped out before, and she does not do her friend any favors.
Francois Coster, owner of La Poubelle, trashy bistro with a story to tell. She thought she was clever, but oh what a fool, didn't know how to run a restaurant, what a fool. Hired a lawyer, thought she saved the day, but she showed up in furry crocs. I say, a corporate disaster, a comedy scene. Francois didn't know how to handle a dream. Trashy business, oh what a mess. La Poubelle, a joke I confess.
How is she a rape supporter?
Oh, let's tell you.
Danny Masterson and her grew up together. They're best friends. What do you expect her to do? She didn't support him. She was
She supported him. She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter to the court.
Do you know what that means?
No, please don't get close to touching me.
You know what that means? That means, hi, this is my friend, and I've known my friend for a long time.
And she doesn't condemn what he's done at her restaurant. And she harassed the Jane Does. Please don't touch me. Yeah, don't touch me. I'll have it on tape, and that'll be assault if you touch me. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you could be assaulting me by touching me.
Can we just start with that? She's a woman, so you can't assault somebody if you're a woman. I'm a woman. If I touch you, hit you, knock you down, that's not assault. What in the world? Yes, it is. Man or woman, doesn't matter. It's assault. It's too much, too much. There's more to this. You got to go watch it. She does not do her friend any favors. She even claims that Francois Coster did not. She didn't know. She didn't know. She didn't know what Danny Masterson did. And Mindy points out he was convicted of it, and then she supported him. And this woman who claims to be her very, very good friend is like, no, she didn't know. And she didn't know that. So Mindy's like, can somebody please pull up the letter that Francois wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson for the judge? So when they were trying to get someone to bring it up, the woman like runs off. It's like, hey, you know what? You can't deal with the truth. But they keep coming out thinking they're helping their friend, and they're just not. They just make it worse every single time. Outside La Poubelle, they were educating, letting people know what the deal was. And here's another interaction with people who were going to go in.
We're just publicizing the people who go into this restaurant as supporters of rape.
What kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. So the owner, Francois Coster, she supports Danny Masterson and the rapes that he committed. He drugged Jane Doe in this restaurant that she owns. And instead of condemning him, instead of condemning him, she wrote a letter in support for him and harassed the Jane Does in court every day.
We don't support that shit.
If
Is
you're
there
doing
another bar on there?
that way. Thank you.
Great.
They just went to the bar next door. They're just trying to get a drink. But yeah, they're like, no, we are not trying to promote that stuff at all or support that. Now let's go over to Big Blue, to L. Ron Hubbard Way, where Literally Surge brought a woman who used to be in the Sea Organization. And not only was she in the Sea Organization, she was on a very high level position. She was the commanding officer of the Commodore's Messenger Organization PAC. So they're in the Pacific, they're in Los Angeles. That would have put her over pretty much everybody on the base except for very few other people. And I do believe she's going to be on Surge's channel some more, and he's going to be doing an interview. I do believe she's got a YouTube channel, but there aren't any videos up yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and chatting with her myself as well. Much of her story was caught by multiple streamers. The one we're going to look at, what are we looking at? We're going to look at a clip from Literally Surge, but this is huge and fantastic because this woman is naming names. She's naming names and dropping the tea, all the things. So let's take a little look at Literally Surge at his stream.
Well, but it's actually interesting what her knowledge of the whole LAPD relationship, because in 87, the LAPD relationship was very different to what they have today. They have built a relationship over the past 35 years.
It was very intentional. RTC was running a program. And this is how I actually ended up getting busted as the COCMO PAC. So they had a program to give you security to, on post, and beef up security, and to make Scientology indispensable.
So back in the day, Scientology did not always have the relationship that it does today with the LAPD. And she goes on to talk about the specific program that was written, done, and executed to resolve this. Amazing. She's just like I said, she is spilling the tea. She is naming the names. We're going to take a look at Jacob Harkey, our Clark Kent. Take a look at his stream where she talks about receiving 3 months of interrogations after being sent off by Scientology to get her sister out of working for the IRS. In Scientology, part of the interrogation is, do you have a family member who's working for the IRS or the media or other government entities? So she gets sent to get her sister not to work for the IRS. Comes back into the Sea Org, gets accused of having been deprogrammed. Which, had she been deprogrammed, she wouldn't have come back. Like, what's up with that? Let's start there. Scientology is so paranoid about being infiltrated. This is why they are so over the top. They're so paranoid about it. Everybody's out to get them. There's a spy everywhere. You think people are paranoid about OSA. You should see what it's like on the inside for Scientology. They are next level about it. Everybody's out to get them. They just see ghosts and goblins everywhere. So she goes on to talk about this. And I thought it was so interesting because those interrogations in Scientology are all about reprogramming.
They were accusing me of doing things I'm not even going to say, but it lasted 3 months. One of my juniors wrote a report saying that I had been deprogrammed because I went back to Seattle to try to get my sister-in-law out of the IRS, which was a big no-no at the time.
I mean, imagine they sent her to get her sister out of the IRS. Yeah. They check that you don't have anyone in your immediate family working for the IRS, for the CIA, for the NSA, for the FBI, for HSI, for any of those. It's an immediate disqualification.
Well, they wanted to send me to INT, so this was what was right. I had to be INT cleared.
To be INT clear, to not be a liability, they need to make sure that you're caught off that possibility of someone in the IRS missing you.
They were accusing me of doing.
Yeah, just great. Cannot wait to hear more from her. Would love to chat with her myself as well. I should ask, I bet my sister probably knows her because I think when she was there is when my sister was in the CMO as well, then in PAC. We'll have to find out. But oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Lot there. We're going to hear a lot more. Scientology is going to be really happy about that one, which means we're going to love it. We're going to love it. And let's go over to Chicago where Windy City Thetan Watch is and got an interesting response when asked. He asked something like, do you have any good, can you share your positive experience? Have you had a good experience in Scientology? Something like that. And gets an actual response, which I thought was very telling. Take a look.
Yep. Make sure you hide from the public.
Actually, this is not that one. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is a couple that's going into Scientology Chicago, trying to make their way into the building. But as we know, Scientology locks their people out now.
Can you tell me anything positive about the organization? Now, come on. How many times has that door been unlocked? L. Ron gave you great mind coverage. You know how to remember that stuff. You should have perfect recall on that. Are you still using a reactive mind or using your analytical mind? I hope you don't get pneumonia. Yeah.
He says, I hope you don't get pneumonia. Hey, Nancy, if I have that link on the spreadsheet, it was from Windy City Thetan Watch. Can you throw it up in the chat? Because I think I might have not clicked on it. Let's see. Is it this one? I can't click on it anyways. Anyways, you know what? Let's do a little interpretive dance. What happened was he is outside the Scientology building and a Scientology staff member all in uniform comes by and he's like, is there anything positive you can tell me about your experience in Scientology? And she just walks by and goes, nope. I feel like that's an honest answer. She may not know that is the case, that like you are being so honest about this right now. Here's the actual link to it. Because I'm in StreamYard and not directly on YouTube, I actually can't click on the link in the chat, but there should be a link down below in all of my links. It's great. Just no. Can you say anything positive about Scientology? No. Nope, nothing. Oh, I laughed so hard. Okay, what also made me laugh is in Clearwater. We're going to go look at Lori Plays, who is back live streaming Outside Flag in Clearwater because Fridays is their graduation. It is flag graduation. So people show up to hear the latest wins, who graduated, and to hip, hip, hooray their hearts out. Take a look at this. Lori comes up to Flag. I think it's the main hotel entrance. I think that's where they were. And there was an officer outside who's probably doing security detail for Scientology. But what happens when Lori walks up is they scoot that officer right into the building so quickly. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? You guys tell me. Tell me in the chat.
Oh, they're going to pull you. You're not even letting the police talk to the citizens? You're not even letting the police talk to the citizens? You got to take them inside too?
Did you guys see that? They just pulled the policeman inside.
He's a police officer. He can speak to whomever he wishes.
What can you not have an opinion on?
What if I needed help? and you just took the cop inside.
What can you not have an opinion on?
So that's Feral Cheryl on the loose who's with her. And I love that question. I think that was one of the questions from Oh No Nora from her video. What can you not have an opinion on? Because that one, as a Scientologist, might just make you think, wait a minute, what do you mean? What do you mean? What can I not have an opinion on? And if they actually think it, because in Scientology, they're in Scientology auditing, and anybody going into this building is more than likely not new to Scientology. They've been at it for a while, trying to claw their way up the bridge to total freedom and probably failing or being sent back down to the bottom to repay for things. This whole idea, every step in Scientology that you do in Scientology auditing, you were asked questions, and those questions are supposed to determine a list of items. They're called items in Scientology. So your Scientology auditor might ask, what can you not have an opinion on? And you will list out all of the things you cannot have an opinion on. You'll be saying it, and your Scientology auditor is writing them down. Then they're going to check each one of these. They're going to be read back to you while the auditor watches the EMETER and looks for the needle to do certain things to determine if that is your answer or not. In Scientology, that process is called listing. And the question that Feral Cheryl, that Oh No Nora recommended people ask, comes across like a listing question. For the brain of a Scientologist, they might go right into answering the question in their head because their brains are trained to do it that way. That's why questions for Scientologists worded a certain way in certain questions might bypass this. The hear nothing, see nothing. The blinders, it might actually bypass that. And what can you not have an opinion on? Definitely sounds to me like a listing question. And I don't know, for all I know, it's a real Scientology listing question. I don't know that, but it's a good one and ones like it. So I am just glad that they are out there doing that. And Feral Cheryl on the loose, I think I even have a clip of her video outside there. Check it out. I love little baby Davy and his fake space navy. I love that. But check it out. Cheryl's got one of her mini streets body Satan out there too.
Little baby Davy and his fake space navy. Little baby Davy and his fake space navy.
They're just out there hanging out, doing their thing, sharing about it. Hey, welcoming people to Scientology graduation. It is just a wonderful thing. It's so great. And it's good to see Lori back out there too. All right. Let's see. And I love this, right? Dustin, Soda Fountain. I did a lot of yelling in Colt Water last night. I'm so tired now. Thank you for being out there and doing that. And I love that people are now calling it Colt Water. Which I remember, if I remember, didn't Mark Bunker say that when he was last before the city council? Didn't he refer to it as Colt Water? I just love it. I don't know if that's new. I don't recall ever hearing that. I wish I had time to make some Colt Water merch, but do I? No, I probably don't. Not to have it delivered before I get there. Because my Tony and I are going to protest Scientology in Clearwater and enjoy some of the scenery, the people, and warm weather out there as well. I'm really looking forward to that. I am really looking forward to going and protesting Scientology again in Clearwater. And also when we go to Hawaii for my dad's funeral, hope to come up and be able to do that there as well. There's something very cathartic and healing, I think, especially as an ex-Scientologist and ex-Sea Org member, especially one who's going through a lot of things right now and could really use an outlet. So I'm just going to take all of that pent up energy that I cannot direct at doctors and other things, and I'm going to direct it at Scientology because that I think is a productive way to go about it. So I hope you guys are going to join us for that. I'm not going to have we'll go live when we go live. There's not going to be a lot of advance warning. So make sure when you hit that subscribe button that you click on the notification bell, bringing you guys along for the whole thing. So Monica's saying she didn't hear Mark Bunker say Colt Water. Okay, maybe somebody in the chat said it. I remember hearing it, and I absolutely love that people are saying that. And like I said, I want merch so bad that says Colt Water. Hey, Per Scientology Addict, good to see you here. That's right, fuzzy pink handcuffs. Get it all out. Oh, we're going to be getting it all out. We are. We are. I think that's a good solid plan. Okay, so I will be you know what? I think I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but I'm working on a couple more videos to do this weekend. So again, notification bell is going to be very important. If you see something, say something. Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com is where you can email me. You can send me videos that you see with a timestamp for it. If you know how to do a clip and it's under a minute, you can send a clip. You can go ahead and send a link to a news article, to something like that. There's just a lot of ways that I would appreciate your help with all of that, to have all that coming in. Coming in would be helpful. Definite trouble source, Hubbardville, this week at City Council meeting. That's right. Hubbardville. Hubbardville. How would you like to be known as Hubbardville? Can you imagine being a resident there and being like, oh, I live in Hubbardville? That's pretty much what it is. Coltwater and Hubbardville. I love that. Per Scientology audit question, what's an example of something you're not allowed to have an opinion on? That is a good question as well. I like that. Jamie, is it just me, or can you still see the trauma in the eyes of ex-Scientologists? Yes. No, I think you can. I think, you know what, for me, it depends on the day for my own, but I do. I think you can. I think that's true of a lot of trauma victims. I wouldn't even limit that to Scientology. I think there's always, you kind of know. And I don't know if it's because if you have experienced trauma that you can recognize it, or at least, I don't know how to explain it. Just feel that vibe. You can feel that energy there and connect with it. It's interesting to me. And that's why I think so many people connect who've never been in Scientology, but have been through similar cults or high control groups or situations of abuse. And my hope is always that you guys find some healing in here as well with all that. I think we got Poe on the go here as well. Hey, Poe. I'm just making sure I've grabbed your question. Oh, Jake, you're killing me. Hubbardville is next to Hillbilly Junction. Oh my gosh. Quirkalopolis. Yes, I'm glad you're catching this on the replay, and I'm also glad you were giving some watch hours to Feral Cheryl. Anything you guys can do to support the different creators out there on SPTV and beyond who are spreading the word about Scientology is always appreciated. Watching the videos, giving them a like, subscribing, interacting in the comments, in the live chat, all of that. It all helps. It does. It all moves the needle forward. I am realizing something that I actually did forget in the lineup. I don't know why, but you know what? We are going to address it in another video that I might do separately, because the truth is, people, I need to go to brunch with my kids and my grandkids. I forgot almost the main, one of the main points in this video. Okay, we're going to do a separate video because I don't know which one of you never ends, because it sounds like it might be some of you, has been trolling Chris Shelton about him not doing enough. And there's a video and a clip about it. In fact, you know what? Hang with me. Let me just see. I do have a couple minutes. Let me see if I can just pull it up. And then we can just talk about it right now. And if we need more time, we can always get into it. It just, multiple people sent me this clip. And it is from Chris Shelton's channel. Let's see if I still have it. Upcoming protests. I don't see it. I don't see it. Ozzy. Okay. Separate video. It will be. We will do a separate video on it. So maybe if I don't do that today, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Got a few more things that I'm working on, but we will get to that. I totally missed it. I had it on my lineup for today, but what do you know? Maybe I'm just a little distracted. All right. Okay. So again, see something, say something. Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. I want to thank you guys for all of your help. I want to thank you for being here, for liking this video, for subscribing, for sharing, getting the word out, and everything you're doing to help expose Scientology as the human trafficking cult that it is. We will talk about the subjects, the topics that I missed. We will cover those later. We absolutely will. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you guys get out and have an amazing cult-free day.